Welcome back, everybody. As we ramp up to the World Series, we enter a very unique cultural tipping point for fans of America's favorite pastime. For the very first time, the home states for all four teams still alive, the Baltimore Orioles, the San Francisco Giants, the Kansas City Royals, and the St. Louis Cardinals, all recognize marriage equality. Over the past year, the NBA and the NFL have both seen the reality of an out player. And now, MLB leadership, who oversees the major and minor league baseball careers of over 5,000 athletes, is laying the groundwork for this as well.
Bean going back to the track in front of the wall, leaps up. He made a sensational catch.
On the field in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Billy Beane was the ultimate utility player, a go-to glove in the outfield.
Caught by Billy Beane in center field. Can you believe it?
And a slugger at the plate.
Billy Beane, grand slam.
After a lucrative career on the Tigers, Dodgers, and Padres, he quit his dream job at just 31 years old, leaving millions unearned because he didn't think the sport was ready for an active player who was gay.
I went away for a long time, and the fact that I'm sort of back in baseball after 15 years for the same reason I left it and come full circle is that moment is not lost on me.
Now the MLB front office and Bud Selig have drafted him because of it. This summer, naming him MLB's first ambassador of inclusion.
We want the people who make a living in our game to be who they wish to be.
Beane marvels at how the league and America have evolved since he first suited up. He suffered in silence for years, his secret tearing the seams of his professional and personal worlds apart.
I was not comfortable with the reality of my sexual orientation, and I needed help with that, but I couldn't put the two lives together. The reason I walked away, I had a partner who passed away while I was on the Padres, died in the emergency room at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I had a 1 o'clock game that day that I played in.
Billy, I think for a lot of people it's going to break their heart to hear that you lost somebody that important in your life, someone, a partner in your life, at 7 a.m. in the morning, and you suit up for a 1 o'clock game.
You know, when you're young and conflicted, it just felt easier for me to pretend it didn't happen. It's not an excuse that baseball didn't do anything wrong. They weren't aware of any of the problems.
Beane holds no grudges over the past, and today he is proud MLB clubs are preparing for the reality of when a player wants to be active and out, just like the NFL's Michael Sam, the NBA's Jason Collins, or MLS's Robbie Rogers. MLB picked Beane and also partnered with Athlete Ally, which works to end homophobia in sports in this ongoing conversation for athletes and fans.
As the country is becoming more and more inclusive on LGBT issues, it's important that baseball speaks to that demographic of fans just as much as they are to any other demographic.
But sometimes you just have to do a little olive branch, and I think that baseball is going to be pleasantly surprised at how this is going to grow the sport in a way that affects everyone in a great way.
All right, so as we've all been watching, of course, the ALCS gets underway tonight with the Kansas City Royals and my Baltimore Orioles. Hopefully, if the weather holds out. But, Mika, it's a fascinating story as we look at this kind of gee whiz moment in judicial policy to think that the four teams that are advancing all hail from states now that have marriage equality, with Missouri being on board now because their attorney general is saying that anybody who gets married out of state will now be recognized within the state of Missouri, and they've got two of their teams heading into the playoffs.
So what teams has Billy Beane met with on this issue so far?
All right, so he's been on the job since this summer, and right now he's had face-to-face meetings with the Yankees, the Phillies, and the Angels. And Mika, he writes to me because we've been talking daily, prelim outreach to the Atlanta Braves, the LA Dodgers, and the Giants, and also he's going to be attending the winter meetings in December and trying to meet with as many people through spring training. So this is all about the foundational work that needs to happen as they go ahead, but it's a really smart move on their part, and I look forward to covering this a lot more.
Good piece.
Thank you, Mika. Thank you.